Hey everybody, Hugh here. Welcome back. Well, in this episode, we'll take a look at the courtyard area. It's an abundance of flower and growth and interest. Plenty of bees buzzing about, enjoying all the access to the flowers. Because the courtyard here is north facing, it means that at this time of day, which is about 2:30ish, you can see the staging area is just about getting the sunshine. It's just beginning to touch in. The other part of the courtyard, I'm not sure how well it's been picked up on camera, gets sun from about 12 at this time of year. You can see our seat and our tables are put to good use as plant stands. And yes, the plants do get moved, and we do actually use it. From a care perspective, if you can move this back over here. Yeah. Yep. From a care perspective, the plants themselves, watering is an obvious feature of this time of year, particularly with these very warm days. But even days where it's not so warm, and even days where it's raining, if you grow plants in pots, you'll know that you have to go out and check them reasonably regularly. Compost wise, well, as I was saying on the podcast Master My Garden, which is John Jones has a podcast called Master My Garden, and he was asking me about compost as part of an episode that's going to come out soon. And it's the compost mix, typically the compost mix that I've talked about using here before in previous videos. So it's a third topsoil, a third well rotted manure, and then a third basically compost out of the compost bin or reconstituted compost that I've come across. Whatever we can. And then a nice handful of bone meal or fish blood and bone and seaweed fertilizer as well added in. So it means that the plants themselves are grown primarily in a soil-based compost. So they tend not to dry out too quickly. Now obviously if they've got a lot of leafy growth on, or if they're producing a lot of flowers, they'll use a lot more moisture and a lot more water. So you do have to keep a close eye. Container wise, I was interested to hear what John was saying. He was saying, oh, you mostly grow in terracotta pots. And I suppose it's true that we like to have that terracotta effect when you look at the overall area, and there's a nice collection of terracotta pots in there. But there's also plenty of other containers as well, plastic containers or plastic pots that we'll use and keep reusing. But there's also other containers like basins and buckets that you just don't see because they're not the prettiest to look at. But of course there's holes drilled in them for drainage. They have a nice soil or root area for the plants to grow in, the bigger plants to grow in. The last time I did a courtyard video was probably in April again, and it would have been full of daffodils and tulips and all the spring bulbs, so they've all died back now. And those pots are in a different space, and we'll be looking at those, getting them ready again for next spring. But this is all the summer colour, and it's a mixture of some shrubby evergreens for a bit of evergreen colour. There's some grasses in there too. But from a summer point of view, there's, your geraniums, lavenders, patio plants such as bacopas, diaceas, carnations. It's a lovely big alstroemeria, Indian summer there, that big one that's in flower. And then behind that, a lovely big canna, leafy canna that came back after last year. Again, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a dahlia down there, Onesta. Some more grass is hidden. One of our recent types of plants to get into now has been heuchera. Over the past year, we've now 5 varieties. So we'll see how these overwinter. I'll talk about that again when the time comes. But the main, as I say, work we're doing here is watering. And of course deadheading, removing the old flowers. Apart from when you want to produce seed. You want them to produce some seed. The annuals particularly for next year. And a little bit of feeding. We don't do too much feeding here because the rich pot mix is there. There tends not to be a huge need. The annuals, if I think they've been in pots too long, I might give them a boost of tomato food, or else I might even just pot them on. The likes of the cosmos that are here with the pinkish purple flowers there, I had them growing in 2-litre pots for their first flush. We grew them from seed. I think we put the seed down the end of March, early April, but sure, they were in flower within a couple of months. Like within June they were in flower, but they were in 2-litre pots. And then I've put them on probably to about 4-litre pot size. So that's given them a whole new lease of life. So it's lovely. It's a lovely area. We spend a nice bit of time here, sometimes sitting, but quite a lot of the time there's always something to do. We haven't counted how many plants are in the area, nearly afraid to. But there's always something. There's, as I said, deadheading or watering, or plants, rotating plants around. Sometimes the plants are going out of flower, we move them from the premium position and we put something else that's there in their way. Keeping it nice and fresh. It's a lovely time of year to capture because plants really are at their peak. The summer plants really are at their peak, and it's just before the autumn coolness comes in. We have some grasses there in the wings. You can't see them, they're just off screen there. Nice collection of grasses that'll begin to rotate in maybe next month into the patio area. Some of the summer bedding plants get tired. So it's lovely just to capture at this time of year. As always, do look after yourselves. Stay safe. If you're in this sunshine, make sure to keep yourself covered. Use a sun cream. And as always, appreciate the likes and the comments and the chats on the various social media. You'll see me there on Twitter primarily, but also a bit on Instagram, and of course back here on YouTube as well. And the first video I did the other day, thanks for the comments, and I will get back to everyone. Some good questions there too. But for now, do take care. Talk to you in the next one. Bye for now.